Love isn't magic. It's not fate. It's not some mysterious connection you can't explain. It's science. After years of studying psychology, observing hundreds of relationships, and breaking down exactly why people become obsessed with one person while ghosting another, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. There are only two reasons people fall in love with you. Just two. And if you don't know what they are, you're playing Russian roulette with your love life. You're leaving it all to chance, hoping someone will just feel it for you. Well, I'm about to change that forever, because once you understand these two reasons, you'll never wonder why someone lost interest again. You'll never sit staring at your phone waiting for a text. You'll never beg for someone's attention. Instead, you'll know exactly how to make someone feel something so powerful for you, they won't even understand it themselves. And here's the best part. This has nothing to do with looks, nothing to do with money, nothing to do with pretending to be someone you're not. It's all about hacking into the deepest, most primal parts of the human brain, the parts that decide this person is special before logic even gets a vote. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to break down both reasons in brutal detail. By the end, you'll never see love the same way again. Reason number 1, emotional safety. Let's talk about the real reason people fall in love and stay in love, emotional safety. Now you might think it's about chemistry, looks, timing, attraction, but none of that sticks if someone doesn't feel safe with you emotionally. Not safe like locked doors and alarm systems, safe like, I can be my full self here and I won't be judged, shamed, or ignored. That kind of safety is rare, and when someone feels it, it becomes addictive. Here's the truth. People don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with someone who makes them feel seen, and I mean truly seen. Not just hearing their words, but understanding what's underneath. Their fears, their wounds, their quirks, their contradictions. When someone feels like you get them at that level, that's when bonds start to form that are almost unbreakable. And it's not about saying, I'm here for you. It's about proving it moment by moment in the way you listen, in how you react when they're vulnerable, in how consistent you are when they're insecure. It's in how you don't flinch when they show you the messy parts of themselves. You ever notice how the strongest relationships aren't always the flashiest ones? They're the ones where both people feel like they can exhale around each other. That's emotional safety. It's when someone doesn't have to perform to be accepted. They don't have to shrink to avoid conflict. They don't have to hide their anxiety or mask their thoughts because they know you're not going anywhere. You're steady. And that steadiness is what calms their nervous system. Think about this. Most people walk through life guarded, pretending, trying to be likable, attractive, impressive. And then they meet someone who makes them feel like, wait, I don't need to try so hard here. That person becomes a safe space. And that's when emotional intimacy starts to build. It's not about being a therapist. It's about being present. Active listening isn't nodding your head while waiting to speak. It's actually listening with your face, your body language, your energy, and sometimes not saying anything at all, but letting them know they're not alone in their emotion. You want someone to fall for you? Mirror their vulnerability. If they open up, open a little too. If they share a fear, don't brush it off. Show them that you've had fears too, that you get it. That's how people build the kind of connection that lives under the surface. That's how someone starts feeling like they can trust you with the real version of themselves, the version they hide from most people. Because here's the harsh reality. The moment someone feels judged, dismissed, or emotionally unsafe around you, they start to withdraw. It's like a defense mechanism. They might still smile, still text, still show up. But inside, they're pulling away. They're slowly disconnecting. On the other hand, when you consistently create emotional safety, especially in moments when it's hard to, you become unforgettable. You become the person they associate with peace, with understanding, with home. And guess what? That kind of connection doesn't just disappear. Even if things fall apart, even if time passes, people don't forget how you made them feel emotionally. You might fade from their phone, but you don't fade from their nervous system. You don't fade from their memory. Because the world doesn't offer a lot of emotional safety, and when someone finds it, they remember exactly where they felt it. So if you want to build real love, deep, lasting, obsession-level love, it starts here. It starts with how you show up emotionally. Not with games, not with manipulation, not with power plays, with presence, with emotional intelligence, with consistency. And I'm not saying be a doormat or lose your boundaries. I'm saying be solid, be safe, be someone they can trust, not because you're always perfect, but because you're always real. Because love isn't just about excitement, it's about exhale. And when someone feels that with you, it's only a matter of time before they fall. Reason number 2, perceived value. Let's talk about the second reason people fall in love with you, perceived value. This isn't about your salary, your car, your abs, or your follower count. None of that actually holds weight in the long run when it comes to love. What we're talking about here is something much more psychological, much more primal. It's about uniqueness, the one thing that makes you stand out in a world full of endless options. Because let's face it, we're constantly bombarded with people trying to be noticed. Everyone's screaming, "Look at me," with their filters and flashy lives. But what makes someone unforgettable is when they don't chase, when they don't try to prove themselves, when they show up fully grounded in who they are. And it hits different. That's perceived value. It's not about how many people want you. It's about how little you seem to need validation from anyone at all. It's that energy that says, I know my worth, I know what I bring, and I don't need to sell myself to be seen. And paradoxically, that's exactly what pulls people in. See, humans are wired to crave what feels rare, what feels scarce. It's basic psychology, the scarcity principle. We automatically assign more value to something when we believe it's hard to get, or when it's not readily available to just anyone. Think about it. If someone responds to every DM, agrees with everything you say, makes themselves 24/7 accessible, you start subconsciously feeling like their attention isn't exclusive. It doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel like you're special, because they're giving that same access to everyone. Now, flip it. Imagine someone who's warm, kind, emotionally intelligent, but they're selective. They're not cold or arrogant. They're just intentional with who they share their time, energy, and vulnerability with. Suddenly, when they give you that attention, it feels earned. That's perceived value in action. And this is where the idea of mystery comes in. Not being a closed book, but not handing over every page in the first chapter either. Mystery is powerful, not because you're playing games, but because you're living a full, interesting life outside of the person you're trying to attract. You're not centering your world around them. You're not constantly available because you have purpose, passion, boundaries, self-respect. That makes you unpredictable, and in a good way. That makes people want to know more, want to earn more. You want to know why some people seem to cast a spell over others, why even after a breakup, they linger in their ex's mind like an itch that won't go away. It's because their value wasn't rooted in superficial things. It was emotional. It was psychological. It was based on the feeling that being close to them was special, not easily replaceable. Perceived value also ties into standards. What you tolerate, what you expect, how you move. When you don't tolerate being disrespected, when you have the courage to walk away from half-love, people feel that, and it instantly elevates how they see you. Because let's be honest, anyone who allows everything stands for nothing. And the moment you show you've got standards, you become someone worth impressing, not someone they assume will always be there. And here's the kicker. Perceived value isn't something you say, it's something you live. You don't tell someone you're high value. You show it in how you carry yourself, in the silence you're okay sitting in the peace you don't let them interrupt, in the joy you create for yourself without needing their presence. You want to be the person who makes someone think, damn, if I lose them, I don't just lose a partner, I lose a vibe I can't find anywhere else. That's real attraction, not forced, not performative, just raw, undeniable value that feels rare in a world full of replicas. So, if you're wondering why someone loses interest, it's not always because of something you lacked. Sometimes, it's because you made yourself too available, too eager, too explainable. People crave what's both comforting and a little out of reach. That balance is the sweet spot. Don't be afraid to leave space for people to miss you. Don't rush to reply every time. Don't feel the need to constantly explain who you are. Let your energy, your silence, your confidence speak for you. When someone has to lean in to figure you out, to earn access to your deeper layers, that's when emotional attachment begins to form. Because again, people don't fall in love with what's common. They fall for what feels rare, what feels like them finding something that others couldn't. And when you become that person, when you live from a place of self-worth, inner peace, and grounded confidence, you won't have to chase love. Love will recognize you. Love will work for you.